Welcome back to Real Estate Mindset. Today's video is going to be absolutely bonkers. Now, it is bonkers how fast, right? How quickly the housing market is absolutely crumbling. It's also crazy to think about how just a few months ago, there were millions and millions of Americans that never even understood how the housing market even worked. They never understood fundamentals. They never understood the cycles. They don't understand how the housing market works. Unfortunately, those same people are about to learn a very costly lesson as the housing market continues to deteriorate. Now, what we're going to do today is we're going to unpack an article from MarketWatch titled "Housing Market is Cooling as an Estimated 25% of Home Listings Cut Their Asking Price. We're shifting from a real buying frenzy to a much more normal conditions." Now, you guys, like me, this is absolutely great news because I'm preparing for the other side of this. I took a step back in the housing market. I said, wait, prepare for the turn, prepare for the buyer's market. It's going to be some of the best buying opportunity in decades, right? I hope you're doing that also because we are seeing an overwhelming amount of data explain to us the direction of the housing market. And here's the real shocker. It's happening so fast, you guys. But regardless, I'm not your financial advisor, but please, you guys, help me spread this message. Help me push the algorithm. Like this video, subscribe, turn on your notifications. Remember, even though this is my personal YouTube channel, my bio is as a realtor, loan officer, instructor in real estate. So I know a little bit about real estate, but also I went into foreclosure myself. I own property right now, yet I'm renting, right? So I'm going through this with you guys. All of the things that I'm saying, all of the things that I'm recommending, they're all my experiences, you guys. I went through this. That's why I'm sounding the alarm. Regardless, though, let's start on this article right now. Home sellers are slashing prices as the housing sector cools. According to a research from a real estate data firm, more than 25% of homes on the market right now have cut their price. Altos research found, which is in stark contrast to how prices have been climbing over the last 2 years. Rising rates and the shift in the economy has slowed down the super eager buyers. And what we're feeling is that speed of the shift. Put bluntly, we're shifting from a real buying frenzy to a much more normal conditions, he added. So overall, you guys, the seller's market is dying right before our eyes. We're now at 25% of listings cutting their price. But what's really important to note is what amount and what percentage of listings need to cut the prices for us to be in a normal buyer's market, right? Is it 25% or is it more? Let's continue on with this article right now. The U.S. housing market boom amid the pandemic was felt across the country. In a high demand area like San Jose, California, the typical home valued at 1.5 million as of May, according to Zillow. That's up 23.7% from the previous year. In May 2020, a typical home in the Bay Area was valued at 1.09 million. So that's almost up. It's up over $400,000. That is insane in 2 years. Under normal conditions, about a third of the homes listed on the market for sale take a price cut before they're sold. Okay, guys. So again, remember, 1/3. So we need it to be about 33%. So 33% is about normal. Let's continue. And when the market is hot, that drops down to 25%. This spring, however, only 14% of homes on the market took a price cut. And that's a reflection of high demand and low inventory. Sellers in the last 2 years can overprice their homes and still get offers. That condition of the frenzy is gone. So it's a much more normal market. But is it a buyer's market, guys? It's starting to be. With buyers slowly backing off, that percentage is now climbing, a trend also supported by research from Redfin, a real estate brokerage. Some 21% of sellers dropped their list price during the 4 weeks ending June 5th, which was the second highest share on record going back to 2015. Wow. Sellers will now need to lower their asking price by summer. By July, expect it to be back to our normal conditions. We've been hotter than normal for over 2 full years since the start of the pandemic. By August, sellers who aren't prepared will be surprised. So we need to be at about a 33%. And do you guys remember? Okay, I've been doing my update videos. I have said the end of August, we would have double the inventory that we had in March. I expect by the end of August to have 700 to 800,000 active listings, not just inventory that's pending or under. I'm talking about active listings, 700 to 800,000 end of August. Just watch. So if you're on the sidelines, again, as we go on to 2022, things are only going to get better for us as long as we're well qualified, right? If we're barely qualified, maybe it's not the time to buy and invest. If we're well qualified, huge victory. This is a huge victory for us. Congratulations, guys. It's going down exactly how we thought, only maybe a little faster. Let's get back to the article. Good news for first-time homebuyer. The median sales price of houses sold in the U.S. was still at a record high of $428,000 in the first quarter of 2022, up from $313,000 first quarter of 2019. Someone said the magnitude of price cuts could vary from $5,000 upwards depending on the value of the house and probably the metro area. For first-time house buyers who have seen prices gradually rise out of their reach over the past 2 years, there could be some relief. If people want to buy a home, they would get outbid by maybe somebody with all cash or an investor. But now selection is increasing and competition decreasing, and they finally have some buying opportunities. But don't expect prices to hit rock bottom just yet. There is nothing in the data yet that shows an indication of home prices crashing. There is an indication of probably zero home price appreciation in 2020. So here's the thing. Here's why I'm always saying I hate using the word crash, because what they just said is there's no indication of a crash. Now, what I'll rebuttal is there's absolutely indications of a crash, because equity surge far outweighed wage growth surge. The equity surge destroyed the grounded fundamentals needed to prevent a cool down crash correction, right? So the real question is what do they consider a crash? Do they consider a crash 50, 60%? And because they consider a 50, 60% drop a crash, are they hiding behind the word crash? Do you guys see my point here? I believe a lot of professional companies like this have an outrageous definition of crash. I think their definition of crash is outrageous. And because their definition of crash is so outrageous, they're hiding behind it, right? They use words like slowdown, correction, small change, and they do not warn people about the impending changes that are going to happen. And that is why, you guys, I hate the word crash. I wish we had a definition of crash, a more accurate definition of crash, so these professionals that are not warning their clients can now start warning their clients. And the warning is this: even if you don't think there's going to be a crash because your definition is different, what about negative equity growth, right? Are you warning your clients? Are you warning people about the next few years of negative equity growth, right? Are you doing that? Because if you're not doing that, I'm saying you do people an injustice as a professional. Okay. Now that is my breakdown of a crash. But overall, you guys, the data just keeps getting better. It's happening at record speeds. People are price cutting like crazy, but it's still not yet a buyer's market. We're this close, right? We're this close to a buyer's market, but we're still not there. Now, when it does turn to a buyer's market, I'm not going to run out and buy real estate. I'm going to let it continue to transition. I want to buy at the bottom. So I'm not going to do it immediately, right? All of this stuff is just now working through our economy. So give it a little bit of time, but this is absolutely great news. Now, you guys, I really appreciate you taking this journey with me. If you're out there investing in real estate, I do wish you luck, and I hope you win.